और इस वक्त एक बहुत ही खास मेहमान हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए हैं। न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया के दर्शक, देश के दर्शक ये जानना चाहेंगे कि इजराइल और अमेरिका और ईरान के बीच में जो ये जंग है वो कब खत्म होगी, कैसे खत्म होगी। और इसका जवाब देने के लिए आज हमारे साथ रूवेन अजार साहब, जो कि इजराइल एम्बेसडर हैं, हिंदुस्तान में जुड़ चुके हैं। वेलकम अजार, हाउ आर यू?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
The first question, I'm going to ask three questions to you, direct questions. The questions which are actually in the heart and mind of every single person in India and obviously in the entire world. The first question is, who is responsible for the ongoing war?
Well, the Iranian regime is responsible because they have refused for decades to renounce their quest to annihilate the state of Israel, and they have been stubborn in creating these completely legitimate threats over Israel and the rest of the region, creating a military nuclear arsenal and developing ballistic missiles that could throw havoc not only to the region but also to the entire world. And therefore their failure to cooperate, to engage in creating a solution for this situation and diverting from these destructive policies have brought us to the situation we are today.
But Mr. Reuven, weren't the talks ongoing? US was in talks with Iran when this happened. And that is the reason people are asking, because there has to be an accountability, both the sides. So you think Israel is not at all accountable for the ongoing war?
Well, we've seen that this negotiation wasn't serious, Rubika, because the Iranian regime was stalling for time, like they did many, many times in the past. They are masters in negotiating without reaching a solution. They were playing for time and using that time in order to create this terrible threat. So they have been held accountable for the crimes they have committed against us and against the entire region.
Now, another question that comes to mind is, when does this end? What is the target? Have you achieved that target? When you say that we will not let Iran be the nuclear power, so have you actually reached your target? Because until and unless you do that, you won't stop, isn't it?
That's right. We will continue this operation until we are sure that we will remove these two existential threats. But we are getting into a pretty positive point right now, because despite the fact the regime said that it's not going to engage with the United States, they have engaged with the United States, and we now have out there, it was published, everybody can see that there are 14 or 15 points that are a requirement to de-escalate this conflict. So these points include the removal of these threats, and that's a positive thing. And there's also a lot for the Iranians to gain, because part of these points are not just the neutralization of the threats, but also the removal of sanctions. So I think we have a diplomatic way out of this conflict, and I hope that this time the Iranian regime doesn't stall for time.
Okay, and then there's another thing, which is the US is going to begin the direct talks with Iran. So does Israel risk being sidelined in a conflict it initiated?
No, because this is a joint operation. We are in complete sync with the United States. We are being updated daily and sometimes even almost hourly by our American friends on the situation of the negotiations.
So are the negotiations on or not?
Yes, they are.
They are. And is Israel a part of it, or it's just America and Iran?
Well, we are indirectly part of it because, as I said, this is a joint operation that is being managed by the United States and Israel.
And then there are also news that Pakistan is mediating. Is it true?
Well, we have heard in the media that Pakistan may facilitate some of the negotiations. I think that the term mediation is a bit misused. You know, mediation sometimes means that a party is involved in actually sending proposals or actually has a stake in rewarding this side or the other. I don't think that we're there. I think that this is a negotiation that is being managed by the United States, and different countries could maybe facilitate.
Okay, and what do you mean by facilitation?
Well, you know, sometimes facilitation means that you're going to host a meeting or you're going to help communicate.
Okay, and how do you see India in this entire conflict?
Well, I think that Indians have been unjustifiably castigated by the Iranian regime because they have been actually trying to extort the entire international community to meet their demands by unjustifiably attacking energy facilities, by trying to undermine the shipping in the Straits of Hormuz that must remain a free maritime conduit for navigation. So the fact that they are causing this trouble to who they call their friends is, I think, very regrettable, and everybody should draw the conclusions for the future.
But the kind of problem that has actually now reached each and every individual's doorstep, don't you think Israel is also equally responsible? Because when Iran is being attacked, Iran then takes control of Strait of Hormuz, and the gas and oil prices are kind of reaching the zenith, the prices. So don't you see an end? And don't you find
first of all, last time that I
responsible?
looked at the map, I didn't see the Straits of Hormuz of being part of Israel. Okay, so if the Iranians want to retaliate against the state of Israel because we attack their capabilities, okay, we are dealing with that. But they're choosing to attack uninvolved players in this conflict is completely unacceptable. And I think the international community has been very clear about this.